Now the car that we are targeting is an RC car, and as I said before, it uses static codes, so every time you press a key, for example, it's going to send the exact same code in the same frequency. And by looking at the specification, we can see that it's running, or the remote control runs on 27 megahertz. Now if you want, for example, to copy or for example record a key fob signal from a car, then what you need to do is to look at the key, and there you are going to find a frequency. Now for example, to check the frequency of the key fobs of the cars that are in Germany, you can just type in Google car key fob frequency in Germany, and then you're gonna see that we have a search result, and it sends a frequency on 433 or 34 in Europe, and in the US and Japan it sends a frequency in 350 megahertz. So if you are living in the US or Japan, then you have to scan the 350 megahertz, or if you are in Europe, you can check the 433 or 434 megahertz. Now in our case, as we said before, we are targeting an RC car that uses static code that runs on 27 megahertz. So let's run first of all Hackrf SDR and select our device, which is the HackRF. Here's our HackRF, and here are the radio frequency. I'm going to mute it, and now I'm going to say space and go to 27 and then hit enter, and you can see that we are in 27 megahertz range. So you can see that here we have 26.1 and here we have 27.9. So we have a range of 2 megahertz. Now when we click or when we press any key on the remote control, you're going to see a spike. So for example, when we click in here, for example, you can see that there is a spike in this area. So I'm going to select it again, and then I'm going to click any key again, for example this one, and you can see this actually moves the car. And when I click in here again, you can see that it sends actually multiple frequencies on multiple ranges. For example, it was a frequency on 26.5 and a frequency on 27.1, and there was another frequency in here. But we want to choose the frequency that is the highest peak when we click a key or press a key. For example, when I click in here, you can see that this was the highest one. So we can see that it sends a frequency or a signal on the frequency 27.14. So this is what we are going to look for. So what we are going to do right now is to go and launch the Universal Radio Hacker. Now we have identified on which frequency the signal is being sent. Now all we have to do is to record the signal and then transmit it again. So I'm going to close this program and run the Universal Radio Hacker. And as you can see, now it's running. All we have to do is go to File and then go to Spectrum Analyzer, in which we will select or identify the frequency. And we already know that it was on 27.1, but this is going to be more accurate by using this program, and I'm going to show it to you. So first of all, we need to select the device that we have, and in our case we have the HackRF, and then we need to click on this refresh button. You can see that it has selected our device, and you can see that the frequency that we are going to listen to, this is the 433, which is a frequency of the key fob, but in our case we are listening to 27.1 as we said before, and it's megahertz, so make sure that you add the M. And then I'm gonna say start, and here you can see that there is nothing actually. You can see there are no signals being sent. So the moment I click on a key, you can see that it has marked the peak, in which will help us to select the peak. For example, here we're actually selecting the peak very accurately. You can see it's 27.146. This is the very accurate frequency. And when I click on the key again, you can see that it's actually running on 27.146. So this is the signal that we need to record. So what we are going to do right now is copy the signal and then stop the program, or stop this spectrum analyzer, and then close it again, and then go to File and then go to Record Signal. And you can see that it has already pasted the frequency that we were running on. And then I'm going to say refresh, and it has selected our device. And now when I click on press, it's going to record the signal. So now I'm going to say start, and now you can see that there is nothing at all. And once we press any key on the remote control, you can see that we have a signal. So right now I have recorded 4 signals. I'm going to say stop. So the first part of the signal is to go forward and then go backwards and then go to the right, or move the car to the right and then move the car to the left. And this is what we are going to transmit in the next video. So for we are going to save this signal. I'm going to say save, and then I'm going to save it on my desktop.